Okay, there's something that we refer to as the search engine optimized, highly ranking but ugly site. This site here is one of those sites that, now this is for, we typed in luxury items or luxury gifts, and this site came up. Doesn't make me feel very luxury. However, their competition that also ranks well has a site that looks like this and this. Very often what I found is people get so into trying to rank well, they butcher their sites. Remember, these sites all came up in the top 10. It's only a back button away. Your competition, from a search perspective, is a back button away. So therefore, you need to invest in things like usability. You need to make sure that people recognize your name when they come to your site. Like, oh, I've heard of those guys before. That's where PR is going to help. Because if your site's just out there and you're not investing in anything other than search, good luck. One of the things I've often said is if you build your site for humans, you don't have to worry about all these darn penalties that people talk about. Right now, the whole penalty thing is way overplayed. I've seen case studies where things like security logos, purchase without login or getting a white paper without login go a long way in increasing conversion by up to 10, 11%. If I'm driving all this traffic to your site, then it's your responsibility to make sure that you have streamlined that process so that when people get there, they're most likely to convert. Good. I got 2 slides left, and I think I'm going to be able to get them in. The whole do-it-yourself versus outsource. Any of you that saw me speak last 6 months ago at Vegas, you've seen this before, but I call it my toilet and taxes slide. I own a few properties, and one day I decided I'm going to fix the toilet because I can Google the model and get the schematic and go to the store and fix it. I was on my back for 3 hours getting water dumped on my face when I could have been laying in my hammock, to only have to call the plumber anyway and pay him to come and fix what I wasted 3 hours on. I will never again try to fix a toilet. You know why? Because my best work is sitting here in front of this laptop. And for me, it's better to spend the money on having someone do it than for me to try to fix it, spend 3 hours on my back to be just more frustrated than when I started. And it's like doing your taxes. Every time I did my own taxes, it never turned out as good as when the accountant said, oh, did you realize you missed this, this, and this? I'm not going to do that again either. You have to be ready to invest about 18 months. And that's pure honest. You have to be ready to invest about 18 months because you're going to have to test and tweak things that we already know works, which is okay. I think doing it yourself is a great way that even if it doesn't work, now you're empowered to help keep some of the people you're hiring honest because there's a lot of not honest people in this space. I always say go with your gut. If you don't feel something's right, don't go with it. Simple. I think opportunity cost is the biggest issue. If it takes you 18 months to get up to speed on something that takes us 6, well, what's that 12 months worth to you in terms of sales or leads? It's another thing. Obviously, your budget. The only way to get a good, cheap SEO, this is how people got me for really cheap. I had just first started. If you can find someone that's got a lot of experience and just started, you got yourself a gem. Because the people that are, I've been in this space for a while and we kind of dabble in it, they're not too good usually. Software. The tools that I showed most of you today, they're all free if you notice. I don't pay a dime for any of those. They're as available for me as they are available to you. There aren't many tools out there that really help in the search process, like PageCritic. Okay. PageCritic. PageCritic is a software that if you downloaded, your competition could download it, and if you plugged in the keywords, what it tells you to do is going to be the same exact thing. So great. So if 10 of your competitors all downloaded the same software and use it, are you guys going to take up the top 10? Are they going to start tweaking and bumping you out? It's not always that easy as just to buy a software and have it kick out some recommendations. The competitiveness of the landscape is critical. If you're not in a very competitive space, then you can get away with things like PageCritic, and by all means use it. But if you find when you're doing your keyword research that there are terms out there that are being queried very often, and people are making money on them, they're calling professionals to do it. And the question is, I've always said keep your ego out of SEO. Don't pat yourself on the back because you got a number 1 for New York as 1 word. I'd rather be number 20 for New York as 2 words than number 1 for it as 1. Because you need to analyze the traffic and the impact of that traffic. Rankings are just means to ends. So if they're not actually referring you business, you're wasting time. And some signs you might want to run from a search firm. If they cold called you, they're not really that busy. And if they're good, they're busy. A required retainer is BS. Because once I get your site ranked in 12 or 18 months, you're going to continue to rank well for those terms usually for at least another 12 months without me touching the site. Because a lot of things we've done are not picked up by Google until after we're actually done your campaign. So you're going to keep going up after we're done. If someone says that they require a retainer to keep your rankings, I wouldn't trust them, because what are they going to do? What if you're already ranked well? What more are they doing to collect that retainer every month? Not a whole lot. Now that you have some tools, and you'll have the tools that are in my bookmarks, look up these query volumes yourself. If you go to a site called SEObook.com, they have tons of tools up there that are available for free. And one of them is a great query research tool. Make sure that they're not telling you to rank well for keywords like black shoes in Alabama, because nobody's typing that in. So now you are empowered with tools like this to know nobody's typing that in. So what am I, if it costs you $50 to have somebody optimize the term black shoes in Alabama, you just wasted $50 because nobody's typing it in. Your common comebacks, if their site doesn't rank well for anything, are, oh, we're the shoemaker's children, you know. We didn't have time to do our own SEO. Okay. They're busy working for their clients is another one. We're so busy working for our clients that we didn't have time to do our own. How can you tell me that search is worth it for me if you're not going to do it for your own site? And my favorite is, we like to stay under the radar. I like to stay on top of the radar. I'm trying to stay in business. So while they're staying under the radar, I'd be a little concerned about that comeback. If they don't rank well for anything, that's a biggie. If they don't proactively, don't ask them if they're going to analyze the traffic. Sit back and say, okay, well, what reports do I get? If they say, oh, we'll give you a ranking report every month. Put on your shoes, find a new firm. You know why? Because you're not in this for rankings. Get your ego out of SEO. You're in this for business. Therefore, you want to make sure that they are tracking through your process how many people are adding the cart from search, how many people are completing the purchase, how many of them are returning, and what that value is to you. If they're just giving you a ranking report, it's not enough. They're heavy on scare tactics like, oh, well, you did this, you're going to get banned in Google. All right, that's a big thing these days where, oh, you're going to get banned. Most of the time, it's going to be lifted. As long as you fix what you did, and you know what you did, fix it, take it out, and then usually you'll come back, okay? The idea that it's all over is like it's the end of the world is not necessarily the way to go. So, and anybody says they have proprietary software or they dabble in search, you got to eat this stuff for breakfast if you're going to be good at it. That's why I said you have to be willing to invest that amount of time. Speaking of time, I'm almost out. So are there any quick questions before I split? Yes. Yep. For keyword research, the tools we use most are Digital Point. These are in my bookmark. It's Digital Point, which gives you the top 10 for word tracker for free, which some of you might be paying for word tracker. It gives you the first 10 for free on Digital Point. I use Google Trends. I use Keyword Discovery. And SEO Book are the main ones that I use for keyword research. Oh, yeah, just drop your card up here and you will all get my bookmarks. I usually do it on the flight home. Any others? Yes? I don't remove it. I just don't spend my time optimizing it because I know there's 1,000 other things that I could work on that are going to have more impact than the words in the keyword meta tag. So that's why I don't really use it much. And one more in the back, and I think this might be the last one. Yes. A properly optimized circular architecture will not have a negative impact. I mean, some of the brands we work with are pretty big, and we have to be very careful with the techniques that we use. If people are out there linking to you, try to get them to link to the deeper pages on your site and not just to your home page, because that's one of the hardest things to get is what we call deep links. Okay? Any others? I probably have time for one more, and that's it. All right. Great. If you want my bookmarks, just drop my card up. I swear I won't email you after that. Thanks.